Hey guys, welcome back to another video of the linked lists tutorial series. Today we are going to see searching within a linked list and then inserting a new node at a certain position. All right, yeah, let's just get started. So for searching, if you think about it, all we have to do is iterate through our list and then find our data point. All right. So it's pretty simple. Okay. So when I create the function, you'll probably understand it better. Okay. So when we are searching, we find our certain node, we want to return that node. Okay. So I'm going to create my function of node data. All right. So I'm going to create search, and then I want to pass, like I always do, our node pointer. All right, and then I want to pass the key. Okay, I want to pass the key, which is actually the data point which we are searching. All right, the data in the node that we are going to search. All right, now all we have to do is we have to, like we always do, we have to iterate through our linked list as long as p is not equal to null, and then we will execute the code as long as, and then actually we have a if statement. Okay, and then if key matches my data point, at that time we are going to return that node. Right, now if it doesn't match, then all we are going to do is p is equal to p dot next. That is all when you are trying to search a certain key element in the node. All right, so what we can do is just go ahead and then try to print this. I can just go ahead like see out, uh, searching the search, maybe the search of data is maybe something like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to call my search function. I'm going to pass it first, and then I want to pass the key. Now in my list I have 23, right? So I'm going to pass 23, and then yeah, oh, I forgot a comma here. Right, so now we are good to go, I believe. All right, so let's just try to run this code. Okay, I'm just going to close this. Just give it a second. Okay, I had some error at line 111. Okay, so what's this? Okay, so what's my error actually? Warning, node search reaches non-void function. Right, so I believe my problem is that I had to return something. Yep, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do return 0 else. Right, so now I believe we are good to go. If I save this and then let me just screen, and then if I go ahead and run this code, yep, so I better provide it new line that we can clearly see. All right, so this is the our linked list and the search of data. So basically what we did is we returned the node. Okay, so we are getting the address of that specific node. You can return the data point as well. All you have to do is just return an integer, p dot data, but basically we are getting that node's address. All right, so that's how it works. Okay, so that was the code for searching in our linked list. Now we are going to try to insert new elements in our linked list. Okay, so whenever we want to insert, we have options. We can either insert before the head, or we can insert after a certain position. So let's just try to understand this for a second. Okay, so for example, this is my linked list. So if I want to insert before the head, so for example, this is my head. all right. If I want to insert before the head, I'm going to create a new node, all right. And then what I'm going to do is I have the address of my first node, right. I'm going to point my new node to the first node, all right. And then I'm going to rename the first as my new node. Hopefully you understood that. I'm going to point my new node to first, and then I'm going to rename first as my new node. Hopefully you guys understood that. And then when I want to actually insert a new element after a certain position, for example, I want to insert it after this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, after second position, all right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, what I want is, this is, for example, this is my second position. For our understanding, let's just call it third, and let's just call it fourth, and this is our new node, all right. So what I want to do here is, I want to this is when I'm on this node, this is p dot next, all right. This is my basically the next address. I want to basically set this nodes, I want this node to point here, and basically this node also points, so I want to call this node as this value, right. And once I have set that value, I want p dot next to point to my new node, that is my t node, right. So basically when you iterate again, when you iterate through the list again, it basically goes to the t pointer and then to the next node, right. Hopefully you guys understood that. And then now I am going to try to make its function, all right. So we don't have to return anything, so I'm just going to do void insert, and then I have to pass my first node, so I'm just going to go node p, and then we have to pass the index. Okay, so if the index is 0, I have to insert it before the head node, and if we have some certain index then value, then I have to insert it after the specific node, all right. I'm going to also pass another value which has to be the data of the new node, which is basically compulsory. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new node, and then I want to create an integer I. Okay, so firstly we have to check a condition. Okay, if the index that we passed, if it's less than 0 or greater than the length of our linked list, so if that's the case, we can't insert, right. So all we have to do is just return it. Okay, so if my index value is less than 0, or if my index value is greater than count of node. Okay, so this count is basically a function which we created in the last tutorial. It basically returns the length of our linked list. Okay, so if that's the case, if this is the case, then we just wanna return, we don't want to run the actual function. Okay, so that's how it basically runs. And now we have two conditions, right. Either inserting it before the head, or inserting it after a certain position. So here we can go ahead and create two if loops. Okay, but before that we first need to allocate memory to node. All right, so all I'm going to do is t is equal to new node, and then I'm going to give it the data which we passed, which is called as x. Okay, we inserted the data in our node. Now I'm going to create a simple if else statement. So if the index is equal to 0, then what I'm going to do, that I explained it in the diagram before, I'm going to do t dot next as first, and then I'm going to call first as t. All right, pretty simple. I am giving the new node the address of the first node, and then I'm renaming the first variable as my t, so that will be the first. So now the t node will be the first node. Okay, and then we have our else statement, which is basically if it has an index, right. Okay, so now here I need a for loop, because if it's at a certain position, then I need to iterate up to that position, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and create a for loop, which will be just I is equal to 0, and then I can go ahead with I is less than index -1. I explained why we need a -1. For example, if we want to insert our linked list, insert our new node after fourth position, then we need to uh, we need to iterate up to the third position. Okay, we need to iterate it 3 times basically. Then I'm going to do I plus plus. Then inside my for loop, what I'm going to do is uh, basically up till the point we reach that position, we need to do p is equal to p dot next, and then we can do t dot next as p dot next. Okay, so basically we are giving the address to that new node to, hey, go ahead and point to, for example, the fifth node. Okay, and then now I'm resetting the value of p dot next as t. So now the original node on which the pointer is, it will point to the t node, and then because of this line of code, 135, the t node will point to the next node, that is the fifth node, for example. Okay, so that's how it basically works. So yeah, our insert function is ready. That's all about it. We have to check the condition if our index is if it's actually a real number, if it fits in our condition. We have to create a new node. We have to check our conditions, where we want to insert it. If we are inserting it before that, only for that we have this simple different condition. Otherwise, whenever you are inserting after a certain point, the code is basically the same. All right, so yeah, that's how it basically works. So let's just try to go ahead and display it. All right, so now all I'm trying to do is I'm passing the first node, and then I want to pass the index where I want, and I want to pass the actual data value. Okay, and then what I'm doing is I'm just copying the same function from up here, and then I'm trying to display it. The new linked list is, and then I'm going to try to run it. All right, so there you go. As you can see, the old linked list and then the new linked list. Okay, so as you can see, our new data 100 has been basically added. All right, so that is the insert function. Okay, so that will be all for this tutorial. If you like this video, please give it a like, share this to your friends, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be making more of these. Okay, so until then, bye bye.